Yeah. Lil Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I am the best reporting on the Eagles. Listen, man, this video was brought to you by Manscaped, leading the way in cutting-edge technology for the modern man to make sure he's groomed in all areas. Man, listen, before she come play on the field, make sure the grass trimmed with Manscaped. Put in code Brunson, save 20% off on your purchase, and get free shipping, man. And the free shipping, I fall for that for y'all. Real talk. Also, man, the Hurt Season hats are still available. They still jumping out of the gym, especially the black one with the Kelly Green stitch. Everybody seems to like that one. Go ahead, they're still available. Make sure you go to theprintchamps.com and get that. I got some more exclusives cooking up as well in terms of, just merchandise overall. But listen, man, the work's been put in. The groundwork has been put in. Listen, after further review of the draft, I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking a lot about who some of these guys are. And I've been looking at some tape on some of these guys. Because listen, man, everybody likes to knock people for not watching college football. But there's not one person on the face of the earth who knows all of our non-draft picks. It's just not. It's impossible. It's impossible. With all the guys that got drafted, the 200-something players that got drafted, in this past weekend's draft, along with the undrafted free agents, y'all don't know all them dudes in all them schools. I'm not even trying to go for that. So once your team compiles the data and you get to digging in some of these guys, you can then truly see if your team, made a good choice in that. And the Philadelphia Eagles, you know what I'm saying, I gave it a high C, a low B yesterday. It's looking like a high B, a low A now. I mean, just to keep it a buck, man. I looked at each one of these guys. I looked at where these guys were projected to go and where these guys actually went. We got some steals in this draft, ladies and gentlemen. Some real steals in this draft. We already know who DeVonta Smith is. You know what I'm saying? That's just the cherry on top. To get DeVonta Smith, the Heisman winner, and then compile it with steal after steal after steal. Everything was basically a steal after your Heisman winner. Some people not going to see it that way because they're looking to guys like me and other content creators to tell you a little bit more about these guys so they won't go into the offseason feeling bad. So it's a responsibility that myself and other content creators got to take serious. So as soon as the draft was over, I gave my initial reaction. And now I'm going to give my, reaction based off of research. You know what I'm saying? You got to fact check sometime. And I only knew about the first round pick and the second round pick, for real. I only knew about our first round pick and our second round pick. I mean, the guys that we picked up are just extraordinary. Now, I'm not going to talk no more about the Slim Reaper. We know that's a problem waiting to happen. That's a beast. I'm going to talk about, Landon Dickerson. Landon Dickerson is if healthy, is a Pro Bowler every year in this league. The tenacity and just the fierceness in which he competes is just ridiculous. It's remarkable. It's remarkable that every play is an impact play for Landon Dickerson. He don't take no plays off. Nobody has a problem with Landon Dickerson being the second pick or Landon Dickerson being a Philadelphia Eagle. It's the injuries. That's the only thing that can hinder this guy's career. And Howie Roseman, felt like the risk outweighed. He felt like it just outweighed itself. You know what I mean? The productivity outweighed the list of injuries. Think about it like this. If this is a guy who you can get healthy towards the tail end of a season, he's worth his weight in gold. Sad to say he's that good. So if he misses like 6 games in the beginning, in the first 6 weeks of the season, or in the first 9 weeks of the season, he being out 6 games, and then he come back 100% for playoff time and time to make a run for the Super Bowl, worth his weight in gold. He is worth his weight in gold in that aspect alone. He's damn sure a first-round talent. He's a lot of people said he was their favorite player in the draft. If he can get healthy and if he can give us a solid 12 games a year, then listen, man, the pick is worth it. The pick is worth it if you can get 12 games out of this guy. And he's that good because we have a problem with injuries, so I'm not trying to make it seem like that we should just accept the fact that he's injury prone. But if you get 12 games out of him, man, that's 12 games of high productivity. 12 games of protecting your quarterback and 12 games of him just being a force in the run game as well. So that pick was really, really extraordinary, man. I'm not going to talk about the guys in order. I'm going to talk about, just some plays that I've seen from some of these guys. Now, when you talk about Kenneth Gainwell, you're talking about a running back who don't have a problem with getting his hands dirty. I know you all probably seen the viral clip of him running down on Micah Parsons and putting Micah Parsons on his back pocket. The dude is a fierce competitor. The dude is a fierce competitor. I bring him up to say this. At that spot at 150, a lot of people wanted us to go cornerback. A lot of people wanted us to go cornerback at 150. Again, they wanted us to go cornerback. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta ask you this question: does it make sense to go cornerback and get a guy in like the top 200? You know what I'm saying? The bottom 200 of the draft, reach just for positional value, or get a running back who's on a lot of people's top 100 at 150. It makes sense. And the dude is a gamer, man. The dude can come in and immediately impact the game in the passing game and in the running game. It's another weapon for Jalen Hurts. It's another weapon for Jalen Hurts. And he could block dudes like Micah Parsons. I mean, come on. Come on. I like that pick a lot. And you talk about Jacoby Stevens. That's a linebacker who could play safety. A linebacker who could play safety. I dug into him a little bit. One of his plays that really stood out to me was interesting. The Heisman winner, Devonta Smith, coming across the middle. Devonta Smith, he put Devonta Smith on his back pockets. I watched that play over and over again and looked at it. I looked at him not shying away from guarding big-name guys because he has guarded guys like Kyle Pitts and was successful. He's guarded some of the top names in his draft over his collegiate career and Jacoby Stevens and came out on top. I look at him recognizing who Devonta Smith is and putting the helmet on him like that, putting him down, not being starstruck. That type of stuff, you got to salute stuff like that. Because you can imagine Julio Jones come across the middle and a lot of guys just being fans of him and not wanting to put that lick on him. But then I looked at the hit from the other angle. Everybody liked to say Devonta Smith so small, but he got up from that. He got up from that, continued on. Didn't limp, didn't lay down, didn't go to the blue tent. That speaks to the character of the Heisman winner as well. Knowing that type of target is on his back and still not being scared to go across the middle. I think he actually caught the ball. I don't know. I didn't even look at that. I just looked at the collision. It just was crazy. And then you look at the things we did, you know what I'm saying, in terms of undrafted free agents. Trayvon Grimes is a stud. He's a stud. Undrafted free agent. He played behind a lot of guys that went into the NFL, like 4 players already. You know what I'm saying? He played behind those guys. Nobody really knew his name. Didn't get the shine. But when his number was called, they was comparing this dude to Mike Evans. He went undrafted. This is the level of stills that we got. And you talk about Milton Williams. Just a still. You talk about Marlon, I'm not going to butcher his name, Typolotu. He was supposed to go in the 3rd round. Got him in the 6th or the 5th, I think. You talking about stills. You talking about Taron Jackson, another still. These aren't reaches. A lot of these guys we drafted got awards. We're runner-ups for awards. This is a pretty prestigious list, man. It's a pretty prestigious list. And I gotta take my hat off to Howie. It might not be attractive at first glance, but when you really, really take a dive at it and when you really look at it, the cornerbacks were gone. Patrick Surtain was gone. J.C. Horn was gone. So you had to redirect fire. He did that on the fly. When them cornerbacks were gone, he started getting on the phone trying to trade up. He got the Dallas Cowboys to do it, and the whole draft game plan had to switch for him. Okay, now we're going to go get Devonta Smith, which is a win-win anyway. You know what I'm saying? Devonta Smith has a higher ceiling than either cornerback, in my opinion. You're going to get more out of Devonta Smith anyway. You know what I'm saying? And then he started looking at things from building the trenches, from a perspective of building around Jalen Hurts. He went from wanting to build the defense to building around Jalen Hurts. I absolutely loved either way he could have went. But this way, you know, after looking at these players and understanding a little bit more about them, I see the value in the things that he did. And I'm excited for these guys to, you know, wear the midnight green. I really am. If Landon Dickerson can stay healthy, I'm telling you, this team is starting to look suitable to be playing in the cold winter months. Starting to look real suitable. If this guy can be healthy, he could be the best offensive lineman in the division. He automatically catapults himself into a top-tier echelon. If this guy can get healthy, if this guy can play healthy. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing. That's the only thing about this draft. Should he have went somewhere else and addressed, you know, the position? Nobody has the potential this guy got, bro. Nobody has. I could arguably, looking at his tape and looking at Penei Sewell tape, I could tell you that this guy's better than Penei Sewell. because he could play center and every other. He could play Penny Sewell's position. It's a job well done. I'm going to give it a very, very low B. The only reason why, a very, very low A. The only reason why it's not an A plus, because we took a gamble with the 37th pick. But in hindsight, after looking at it again, you addressed linebacker. You addressed linebacker by picking a hybrid that they're probably going to put at linebacker. Don't forget what you did with Alex Singleton. Don't forget that you got guys who really didn't get a chance in Sean Bradley and Davion Teller, so you don't know what the roster really looks like at linebacker. It wasn't as big as a concern as everybody thought it was. We didn't give dudes the time to prove that they could do it. You addressed wide receiver. You didn't draft a quarterback, letting us know who we running with. You know what I'm saying? You did get Jamie Newman as an undrafted free agent, but no undrafted free agent is going to be the starter guy week 1 over your second-round pick that you gave up on your franchise quarterback for. Jalen Hurts will be the starter. He will have new weapons at his disposal, and I'm excited to see how this thing goes. So the overall grade now for me actually went up after doing my research on these guys. This is a really, really well put together draft by Howie Roseman. It might not look attractive. You got to understand that Howie Roseman is always going to try to build the trenches in one way or another. And he did that while addressing the passing game, while addressing keeping tread off of Miles Sanders and the linebacking core at the same time. And who knows what this guy, Zach McPherson, can give us. He could be the answer that we need. You know what I'm saying? Apparently he can play outside and inside. You know what I'm saying? It's not really a lot of tape on him and history on him, but seems like a gamer, comes from a long family of, athletes. So, I mean, it's not really nothing to complain about in terms of the roster. It's not. You could argue him passing on JOK and other guys, but Landon Collins, at 22 years old, I believe, 6'6", 320-something pounds, will be a star if he can stay healthy. Guaranteed. So you got a really high chance of getting 2 stars with your first and second round pick. We just got to see how it pans out. So yeah, man. After further review all day, listen, the grade went up. The grade went up, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comments.